in a lot of ways, I'm very fortunate because I've spent a lot of time traveling and I've been able to get around to a lot of different countries that offer just different perspectives on meditation, healing, alternative thinking. Tibet was one of them, where some of the esoteric sort of things that they were doing there with the Tibetan Buddhism was really, really quite interesting, and the healing approaches that they took, even under all the changes that Tibet is going through with the political challenges. Thailand was another one. I remember spending time in the forest with, I don't know what the official name for the tribe is, but they call them the Yellow Leaf tribe, Yellow Leaf people. And the reason that is because they're nomads, and they live off of the land, and they live under these big banana leaves. And when they pick the banana leaves, I don't know if you've ever seen a banana leaf before, but it's huge. I mean, it's really big. And they use them as lean-tos, shelter from rain and shelter from the elements, especially the sun. In Thailand, it's pretty strong. And they put the whole family underneath these banana leaves. And when the banana leaf turns yellow from its green, then it's time for them to move. That's how they judge how long they stay in one place. So very interesting. And they all live in small communities, small families, and then they all sort of move in the forest and around. And the government of Thailand has tried to, I guess the terminology would be, civilize these people by bringing them into villages. And these villages aren't really a part of the regular Thai society. They're villages on the outskirts.
Reservations?
Yeah, and they give them food, and they give them clothing, and they give them, rooms to stay in, and they can't do it. They can't live in these rooms. To them, it's claustrophobic, and they just can't take it. So 2 or 3 times, this one family that we had met through a villager who took us there, and it was just one of those things that occurred in the moment. And we got along really good, and he said, "Would you like to experience something really, really unique?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to. What have you got in mind?" And he says, "Well, I know the Yellow Leaf. I know a family of the Yellow Leaf people, and they might still be in the same spot." He says, "I can't promise it. They may have moved on already, but if you'd like to come and meet them." I said, "Yeah, I'd love to." So we went, and I had a chance to be with these people, and the gentleman who probably was in his, I don't know, late 60s, maybe early 70s, who was the family sort of figure of the family there, and he's the one that greeted us. And I swear that if you looked into his eyes, you could see so far back into his eyes that it looked like you were looking into the forest. And they just went on and on, and he was so grounded. He had nothing, going on in his mind, anything that was like, no monkey mind at all. He was just, it would be like, you knew he was a person, but it'd be like hugging a tree. He was just so grounded. And they did a lot of their own healing. They didn't have doctors or anything. They used herbs and stuff, but they also used a way of using their mind and breathing, and a lot of it was very similar to Qigong, because Qigong or Qigong or whatever you want to pronounce it originated in China, and they have documented evidence that it goes back 5,000 years. Things that they're turning up, showing Qigong poses and stuff, and this is what people have been using to heal themselves for centuries. Centuries and centuries and centuries. And so it would have spread all in that area and been, taught to other nations, which it has been, Japan and all the other ones, and Thailand. And so I saw this man do some pretty remarkable stuff, and I wasn't allowed to videotape it. I wasn't, I videotaped a portion of him and his family. He gave me permission, but I wasn't allowed to videotape anything else other than just hey, this is, the tribe type thing. And his family wasn't very comfortable with it, so I only took a minute of videotape, because I could see they were not really liking whatever this contraption was that I had for a camera. Okay, so being exposed to a lot of this stuff, I've utilized a lot of it in my own practice, and I want to share some of it with you. And a lot of it is from when I was in China, and I took some from China, the temples in China, some from Tibet, and some from this Yellow Leaf family that I learned. But what I'd like to do right now is I want you to understand how to improve your energy, okay? We all know that we have some sort of energy that runs through us, because if not, we wouldn't be breathing, we wouldn't be living, you know, the atoms in our body wouldn't be held together in some sort of sequence that this energy says this is how they go together and this is what makes you you, okay? So that energy is maintaining that somehow. And that energy runs through a lot of things. It's all around us. But being able to tap into it takes a little bit of intention, takes breathing, and takes some visualization. Okay? These are three things that are very important to tapping into that energy and to amplifying it. Okay? And the reason for that is breathing is what really stimulates that energy and gets you in touch with it on a whole different level. But you got to be able to breathe consciously, not unconsciously. We go around breathe every day, but usually it's from here to here, right? Very shallow, because we're not consciously drawing that breath in deep down. This is called the Dantian, or in Japanese, in Japan it's called the Hara. And this center right here is a very powerful, powerful center in healing and in also martial arts. Okay? When you draw your breath in, you want to consciously draw your breath in and down to the Dantian. Okay? And your stomach expands as you breathe in, and then as you breathe out, it comes back to its natural state. Okay? The visualization is being able to almost see that breath coming in and charging the body. Okay? And then the intention is having the intention that this is going to happen. You probably know a little bit about science, and you probably know the first time that they had a nuclear microscope. This is old information now, and this happened in the 80s. But they wanted to look at atoms, and they wanted to look at what was taking place and how electrons circled, you know, and everything like that. And what they found is that when they looked into the microscope and they looked into the atom, that it changed because somebody was observing that particular atom. So our consciousness, our intent, our observation, our attention has an effect on things. Because when they stood back from that, they started laughing their asses off. They started going, I can't believe this. Because things change just because we look at it. Because we have the intention of some purpose, it changes. That's like, to them it was mind-boggling. They're scientists. Okay? So imagine if you're going around all day long and your intention is that of some sort of negative outcome. You're angry, or you're sad, you're depressed, or you know, whatever it is. If that is what you hold, if that's what you visualize, if you breathe from here to here, if you visualize, you know, negative things, what kind of effect is that having on your body? So we need to change those things so that we can change that around and watch what happens. So stand up for a second.
Can I help you?
What I'd like you to do is just stand with your feet so that they're about shoulder width apart. And both feet should be pointing straight ahead. If we stand with our feet out, then we let the energy that we're accumulating in our body for the purpose of this exercise, it shoots out to the sides instead of coming up and around and back and around over our body. Okay? But if we close the circuit by simply turning our feet so they're straight forward, then the energy just continues to revolve and build in our body. Okay? The knees shouldn't be straight and locked. The knees should have just a little bit of bend in them. Okay? What we're doing is providing the best sort of conduit for this energy to move. And it doesn't necessarily like locked in things, so it likes suppleness. Okay? Same thing with the butt. The butt isn't sort of pushed forward. You know, it's kind of back a little bit, as if you're almost getting ready to sit into a chair, but not exaggerated. You know. Okay. The shoulders are square, not bent over like this, but your posture is good. Good. And what I'd like you to do is bring your hands out to this position here. And I'd like you to bring them up like this. And then I'd like you to bring them down like this. we're doing here is we're taking from the energy below us, and this is the earth energy. This is the grounding energy, okay? And we're bringing that up, bringing it up, bringing it up, bringing it up to our head, okay? And then we're going to start bringing the energy back down along with the energy that moves through our entire body and the entire universe. So basically we're grounding from the ground up, and then we're taking that heavenly energy and we're bringing it so that it meets with the grounding. And then for the breathing, you breathe in. And then you breathe out. And just keep doing that for a few moments now. And what I'd like you to do is visualize the energy. You take the energy from the ground, bring it up onto the head, and then bring it down through the body. Right back down as if you've pushed it all the way down to the feet, into the ground, and then back up. A couple more times on your own. If you have the visualization, the deep breathing, and the intent that this is what you're doing, at some point you'll begin to feel the energy in the palms of your hand. Some people feel it as a tingling sensation. Others feel it as a lightness or a heaviness. Some people feel it as a hot sensation. I don't know how it's going to show up for you. But right now, what you're doing is bathing in this energy. Now I'd like you to bring your hands together, not so they're touching, but so that they're closer. And observe what's taking place between the two palms of your hand right now. Just notice anything that you might notice. What's happening there? What does that feel like for you? Anybody feel anything?
Probably heat. Like there's a pulse there and they're connected. There's some sort of connection.
Okay. That's the energy that we're talking about. If you don't feel it, it just means you need to practice more. Be open to it. Have that intent, the visualization, and the deep breathing. Okay, let's do it again a couple more times. And notice what you notice between the two palms now. Okay, good. Now just a few things about the earth energy and the sky energy. The earth energy is forever accepted. It's forever receiving. Okay? Look at the earth in the form of what it receives from mankind. It receives everything, right? So far we haven't blown up. or disintegrated, or, I mean, one day we might if we keep toxifying it, but look at what it can absorb. Look at how it absorbs every flower, every growth, every mushroom, every weed, everything. It just says, grow on me, grow on me. You can do it, okay? So it's the receptive energy, okay? The sky energy, the heaven energy, whatever you want to term it, is the creative energy. This is the part that says, you will be Gary, you will be you, you will be you, you will be you. Individual, this is how your atoms will come together, and this is what will make you, in your way, a unique individual, and then you can express yourself however you want to. Okay? So it's the creative force, this is the receptive force. What we're doing is we're marrying the two together. This is the grounding force. Okay? It grounds you. This is the force of absolute open possibility and opportunity. You can rearrange just about everything if you can connect these two forces together. Okay? When I looked into that gentleman's eyes in the forest and I saw how connected and grounded he was, and yet he had the ability to pull that energy and utilize it in ways where I saw him healing his family, I saw him doing things to his food that made it more, available to them and stuff. I mean, it was pretty amazing stuff. Hopefully they'll never be civilized. Okay, so now what we want to do is this energy is actually, that builds in the palms of your hands. You can utilize this on your body at areas that you need to move the energy. When you have an injury or an ailment, or you have something that's not working properly, generally it's because the energy is not flowing in that area. And this is why people use, acupuncture, or they use different forms of alternative medicine, like in China anyways, to get things stimulated to move the energy again. You've got stagnant energy. Okay? You can actually, how when somebody's had a heart attack and the heart stops beating, and if you give it a few pumps, you can or you shock it, you can get it going again. Well, this is the natural way of doing that to your own body in the areas that the energy has become stagnant or stuck, and to start loosening it up and get it moving again. And once the energy moves in that area, you'll then find that that area won't have the same problems as it had previously. Okay? So, we're going to do a few more of these, and then what I want you to do is know, like an area that you might have on your body that maybe experiencing some pain or some difficulty. I want you to take the palms of your hand and I want you to place it on that area. Okay? So, this can also be for emotional challenges as well. Okay? If you have an emotional challenge, then what you might want to do is you might want to place your hands in the heart, what they call the heart chakra. We call it just the heart dantian. Okay? Doesn't matter what you call it, it's still a very powerful center. If you need more vitality, you don't have anything particular, an illness in particular, but you need more vitality, then I want you to place your hands on the lower dantian. Okay? Because this is where the vitality comes from, here. So this is your vitality, this is your emotional center. If you have a hard time vocalizing yourself, if you have a hard time expressing yourself, okay, then you place it here. This is the vocal area. Okay? If you want to be more intuitive, if you feel stuck in your creativity and your intuitiveness, then you place it here. Because this is your intuitive center. However, if you have some sort of localized pain, or an injury, or something that you want to work with, then place your hands wherever that might be in that area. Okay? So if there's an injury somewhere, use that, build up that amplified energy to do that. Now I can get into a lot of particulars about, well, we can work with the thyroid, we can work with the heart, and there's acupuncture points that we can work with, but we don't have that much time today. Okay? So ready, from here. Feet are pointing straight ahead, slight bend in the knees, butt is slightly back, back is straight, shoulders are square. connect with the earth first. Imagine yourself as a tree with the roots going right down and wide. You are the earth. And from here, breathe that energy up. Connect it with the sky energy and bring it down through the body. Visualize the energy moving. Have the intent that the energy is moving. Breathe deeply. A couple more times. Build the energy. One more. And hold your hands so they're right next to each other. Visualize the energy in the palms of your hands moving around. Breathe deeply into the palm of your hands. Okay, now that the palm of your hands are charged with this chi energy, select the area that you wish to apply it to. And then breathe as you touch that area, breathe deeply. Taking the energy from the palms into the area that you need it the most. Couple of deep breaths. And now just take the palms and move it around in a circular motion on that area. Just gently. Continue to breathe deeply. Visualize the energy moving into that area. And you're moving the energy that is stuck in that area. And then just hold still for a few seconds and observe. And then bring your hands back down to the sides and observe that area. Visualize the energy in that area flowing. And now if it's an area on your body that you can move, just gently move it around. So you're loosening that up and letting the energy do its thing. Excellent. Let's do that one more time now that you know what we're doing. So remember, the breathing is rhythmic and deep. Okay? The visualization is engaging the energy. It's like guiding it, saying, hey energy, this is what we're doing. Okay? Remember, your observation, your attention on that energy actually does influence it. This has actually been proved scientifically. And then your intention, of course, is that it's doing what it needs to do. Otherwise, the energy just fragments and goes into the many different conduits that it can go into. But your intention is to maintain it in a certain area that the visualization is, to have it do its work in that area. So ready. Now that you know what you're doing, really put yourself into it. Root it into the ground, use that energy, connecting with the sky energy. All things are possible. With this heaven and earth energy flowing through your body, build it, amplify it with your visualization and your attention. Now notice what's happening between the palms of your hands. Breathe into the palms of your hands. It's like breathing into the embers of a fire. As you breathe into the embers of the fire, they glow even more red. Stimulating that energy. Now with that energy in the palms of your hands, apply it wherever you need it the most at this particular point in time. And breathe into that area. Visualize the energy is moving into the area, moving around the area, moving through the area, and connecting with the river of energy that is flowing throughout your body freely. Any stuck or still energy that's been there is now moving, flowing freely. Move the hands around, rubbing, circulating in that area. Continue breathing into it and visualizing the energy flowing freely. Intending it to be once again at par, healthy, vibrant, doing what it does, what it was intended to do from the very beginning of your birth. And now stillness and just observe. Arms to the side and observe. Visualize your body healthy. Visualize your body flowing absolutely freely with that energy, that healing energy, and the natural energy that circulates between heaven and earth. That you are conduit for both grounding energy from the earth and also creative energy that actually brought you into being, brought your atoms into being the way that they are. The blueprint is of perfect health because that's exactly what that energy wants for you. Be open to it. Be accepting of it by visualizing, having a positive intent, and breathing makes it so. observations?
Feel good. Feel lightweight. Very. Yeah. Feel like air.
Mm.
Empowered.
The next time that you have a headache, an earache, a pain in your body, an emotional challenge that you might be going through, do this.
I feel like I'm aware of how more blocked I am actually.
That's good though, you need to start from somewhere. And the awareness of that will definitely help to start putting it in the right area for you. Any other observations or comments before we wrap it up for the day? Some of you don't look like you're ready to wrap it up. Basking in the glow of meditation. Now here's the wonderful thing about this too is you don't need to believe all of this stuff for it to work for you. You really don't. You don't need to believe it. You just need to do it. If you want to believe it, you can believe it too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But as a kid, I never believed in any of this. I just was made to do it. And in some ways, I'm very thankful because I probably would have never, perhaps gone down this path, this route, if my teacher in martial arts wasn't the one to say, shut up, sit down, cross your legs, breathe. I don't want to. I don't care what you want. Just do it. You want to learn martial arts? Yeah, I want to learn martial arts. Can we learn it right now? I want to kick, I want to punch, I want to do all this stuff. Good, sit down. Sit down. That's like counterproductive, isn't it? I want to be doing the other thing. Right? But I tell you, as much as I didn't want to be doing it, as I practiced it and kept doing it and kept doing it, I noticed the results. I noticed them in a big way after a while. And then I was hooked.
Did you ever thank him for it after?
Oh yeah, many times. Yeah. And then in my 20s, I started traveling around the world and studying with all kinds of different teachers from all kinds of different countries and places. And so I hope that you've been able to receive some benefit from today.
Thank you.
And I hope that this particular healing Qigong technique that you'll be able to utilize instead of the next time going to the medicine cabinet and popping a few Tylenols or something else that we are so accustomed and so used to doing because that's what our society says. Well, we'll just take a pill for that. Okay? It doesn't necessarily always take out the underlying cause of why you're feeling that way or what's making you feel that way. And I'm totally not against Western medicine at all. I mean, there's some great things about Western medicine. But what I'm saying is there has to be a balance. It's got to be kind of like heaven and earth. There has to be a balance between the grounding effect and the creative effect. And I see, a lot of things in Western medicine, not so much the overuse of medications, but a lot of the surgeries and things that are possible today are like that creative energy flowing. I mean, it's amazing what can be done. Okay. However, I think a lot of those things that are being done don't necessarily need to be done if you're grounded in that more other energy where you have more preventative things that are taking place so that you never get to that point. So you need both, okay? And for me, doing something like this rather than always engaging in medications or things like that, now if you're on medications and you're prescribed them and you have to use them, then do that. But I've had clients in my center here be able to come off of. We've had people come in on 9 different medications from blood pressure to all kinds of different things, and they've been able to get rid of 4 or 5 of them under the care of their either psychiatrist or doctor, or both. And sometimes they don't always agree either.
My surgeon told me that cottage country in Ontario is basically built off of a lot of unnecessary gallbladder surgery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even, I think of my own family where, my siblings and my mother are all on high blood pressure pills and they're all diabetic. And you look at the fact that none of them exercise, none of them eat the proper food. And then every time, they don't feel well, they go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my siblings is a doctor, which makes it all that more
Yeah,
disturbing.
yeah.
But, yeah, so they just keep saying, oh, just wait your turn, you'll have it all. And I'm like, nope, trying not to, trying to avoid going to the pharmacy every month.
Yeah.
My neurologist knows that I don't handle medication well, and I just don't. I mean, it's fine at first, but I can't take medication continuously for anything pretty much. And he's actually more interested in naturopathic things, which are unfortunately more expensive, but certainly they have less side effects and give you more control.
Yeah.
So I have more control.
And this costs nothing.
Yeah, you can do this, yeah.
Well, it takes hours though, for what we've done. I mean, I do half an hour a day at home, but it does take time. I don't.
Yeah. Well, when you figure, I mean, the last part of this meditation really only took, if you get through all the talking and just do it, right? 10 minutes. Right? 10 minutes you can do this and support your body. Okay? So let me put it to you this way. If you don't do this and your body isn't supported, when that energy is dammed up so long that it's not moving, that area, whatever area it's dammed up in, starts to die, basically. It starts, that area starts to break down. And that's when you need the invasive surgeries or medications or things. So think how long it would take, if you have to go through surgery, how much time you have to take it, or what effects that's going to have, or how much medication you're going to have. So what I'm saying is 10 minutes a day can save you a lot of time and health and energy in the future.
I remember listening to Carolyn Weiss CDs, and I was just really struck by her describing the way that we can influence our biology, but if you don't practice anything or practice that being in touch, and all of a sudden something catastrophic happens, and all of a sudden you just want, your spirit to kick in and heal,
Yeah.
change your biology. It's like, oh, where have you been?
Yeah, definitely.
Why am I just seeing you now?
When that issue becomes chronic, then it takes longer to heal, because it's so chronic that it's going to take time. For some chronic conditions, just doing this once isn't going to make a huge difference. It's kind of like chipping away at the stone that's built up over there over the years. But if you repeatedly keep doing it, you'll get better, because you keep penetrating that energy into that area. Okay. If you do it on a regular basis, then, as said, you don't let that big obstacle get in the way and build up and become more difficult and challenging to take down. So I want to thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to have you here. If you're not on my newsletter, take my card, and this is for my website. Get on my newsletter, because I email out all my events.